process, your job is to teach the rest of humanity. You can gather followers. The following has to be one thing: serving the soul of the man. You do not need to be worried where your next income comes, because the first thing you got to learn is how to make the gold which eluded you. And then you'll find your physicality become gold, and your heart and your soul will be made of gold, which is the point of satisfaction of the world to the man. So now, as I said, we are calling for what we call one nation leadership. Those who serve humanity for peace, those whose target will be in a direction to feed the man of hunger, to feed the man of hunger of physicality, and elevate the soul of those who are hungry for position, that they find out they don't need to fight to be some. We shall not forgive those people who call themselves the rulers and created mayhem, because not only we cannot forget, their souls will find a place for them to be. You have two choices. We start setting up the universal, or what I call the one nation leadership as of today, or we have no choice but to go to annihilation of man. This way, there shall be no religion and there shall be no nation. There will be only one man as the totality of a human being, and as it says in the Iranian poet Sadi, we are all fingers, the hand, the parts of one body. The body only functions perfectly when every part of it is in a working order. And every part of this planet at this moment is like the hand of the man. In the books, they call it Pange, which is the 5 continents. Pange comes from the word of Persian word. Panj means 5. The planet on this, or continent on this planet, are 5, which means one finger cannot operate without the others. And this is how the Universal Council will be. But we know in the coming time, there will be 6 continents, as the South American continent will separate, and it needs its own representation. Therefore, we need 6, which replicate the true structure of solidarity of crystal, which means it'll be stable. This is the purpose of setting up the what I call the governmental council. We ask for the governments to enter this negotiation, to hand over their powers to the council, because in time we'll give so much that people don't need leaders to understand the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, and they will come to work to our way, and then there'll be no leaders to need. We don't need a president in one country with 2,000 entourage, with people sleeping on the ground in boxes outside the presidential palace. We do not need kings to kill children for the pleasure of time of them, where other children are going in hunger and are abused for that purpose. I have not misled you. I had to bring you down this path. And from today, we announce. In the Keshe Foundation website, in the coming days, you will see one link. One nation leaders. You can bring yourself in to be the leader, and you need to justify how your leadership in what system will bring peace and prosperity to man without the need to any deception and working with the others. So we don't come and elect you. We want you to select yourself to be on the board of the leadership of this planet. The condition is, now we have a system which can see your soul. There is no lies. You can't lie anymore. Say, I want to be the leader to serve, but I'm there to be called the new leader. It will go red so fast that it shows the color of blood. It means you are too physical. It will shine like a sun because it's the true color of your soul. So we are not running leadership election. We are not running government election. We are running one nation leaders to change the course. And once you are accepted to be, we give you all the knowledge to become the next Messiah, to give knowledge and technology freely to every man, to show how to make gold and the rest of it. But don't forget, you don't need the Father Christmas sack to go through every chimney. You just got to have a little bit of knowledge, which is this: how to mix water. This is the beauty of what is to come. It'll take you a few weeks or a few months to understand this, but those who understood are well at it. I enjoy working with my Innovation Center team because they have become detached from what they can use it for. They become attached to the work of the peace of humanity and what it can bring. I don't nominate no one, but if you see your soul to be the true leader, it definitely puts out an end to American presidential election, because all the promises of we make the country rich will be done by you, because you deliver the technology that every man in the kitchen can make some. Free energy, as you've seen, free maglev systems, as you've seen, free gold system, as you've seen, but we'll go through the process of the commercialization, that then the Keshe Foundation factories and producers and the people who do it at home, they decide how to spend their time and how to develop and deliver. In so many ways, this is the beginning, the first chance humanity has ever had, truly, from the creation of the first cell on this planet, to change the course, to become peaceful, not to worry who's going to have to eat and who doesn't, because now you teach everybody how to eat and what to have. And then in so many ways, we all become one color. No man can cheat. And you go back to what I told you 2 years ago. When you're in a space, you will see that your thoughts will be read long before you show physicality. Now, with the technology we have delivered in past few months, you do that. You become the alien, seeing the soul of the man, if he's cheating or not, or if he's telling you the lies or not. We've seen people inciting war. We've seen people inciting riots in Paris and videoing it. We have all on record. We know how it's done. We know who's involved. But it's our grace we keep our silence, not our weakness. In so many ways, my call goes to two world leaders. The Chinese, which the representative is sitting in the background listening and reporting to the Chinese military, and to the American government intelligence, who are sitting on the same line with you. Make one army out of the two-nation army. Bring wealth and knowledge to each other, and there shall be no army of war, but there will be the army of the peace. We will teach this heavily. In the coming days and weeks, I said we'll come on and we'll show. This is the birthday gift which I can give you as a humanity, and I hope those who understand will grab and run with it very fast, and those who they see it as a threat understand that their time is over. The only terrorists in this structure is those who stop the one nation government to be established, and we have a way to handle that too. If you've been teaching, if you've been working, if you have made systems, and through it you've been teaching the others, We encourage you to carry on. This physical existence and the work will be on for a few months till the change comes. This is the fastest way we could do. And then we'll find out every material to man will be free. You don't need to go to Africa to get the Africans to work for you and rob their nations of their wealth and take it back to China to make something, to sell it to the West to become richer. The man in Africa will dig the same thing out himself without doing anything out of the fields of this planet. This is important to understand. Now, the knowledge doesn't come out of patents. The knowledge and equality comes out of sharing the knowledge and developing the knowledge. This is what we have been waiting for. And now I want to see who will oppose the Universal Council, who will oppose the setting up the One Nation leadership, and then who is there to support this change. In a way, we all obey by the rules, by the condition of our own soul, and the only thing the leaders are elected or selected by themselves is to make sure that the knowledge and the spread of knowledge is equal amongst man, and not only the man who becomes the representative of the, let's say, America, will do his best to give to the African continent and to Asian continent, but he convinces his own people of the American continent. We have to bring the change. We have this time to give for what we've done wrong, that we bring the balance through, that we are all right. There is no need for armies of war to be the armies of the war peace, as has become fashionable now, because the factories in America has to work to keep the presidents in the office of presidency with employment. But now the same factory will build things that it gives pleasure to the others. It doesn't mean with this way that is the end of new technologies, new televisions, new communication system, but it becomes the era that we make things. Who wants to have it? We have so much of it. We can make more of it. As I said too many times, the biggest problem on this planet is there is 7 billion people. You can never satisfy and produce everything for everybody. So the process is simple. Today is the beginning, and it's the beginning of one nation government, which means all of you as one government, as one nation. We want to know which one of you will dare to serve, and in so many ways. In the next few weeks, we release so much knowledge and new technologies that we bring submission to governments through technology. I want to show you something. And if you understand this, we can shower gold the same way. Renan, are you in the background? Can we hear Renan? Is he there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Renan, could you please show the video of the water out of the bottle?
Okay, sir. For
Video. Then you understand how this means, what this means. If you understand, you can have a water across without even making anything. Transportation, transmutation of the water, exactly the same way as it happens in your stomach. Now you decide what you want outside. This is you have to understand this video, and then you understand what I'm talking about. Can you show it, please? Can you enlarge the screen? Can you tell us when you're ready to show it? And
okay,
then
sir.
you
I'm
explain.
ready.
Yes, explain to us what happened in your experiment that we understand. Can you share the screen? Can you explain as you go along before you show it?
First, the setup here is it's a double core reactor. The inner reactor is a composite GANs that is in a basic solution, and the outer water of the outer ball is a as well a basic solution, but only CH3 GANs. So we believe that there is also a bit of leaking, but here we don't find any holes after the video was done, so we inspect it. So let me show you the point that when the water are already coming out.
Just begin from the beginning, please, where it comes. The
Okay.
video is very short, only 1 minute. Show the
So
whole line that it can be seen. 2 minutes video. This is the ball. This is how the energy is absorbed inside. It goes through the phase of the balance energy between the ball inside and outside. And then, very interestingly, when the field balance, there are no holes, and they found no holes or any leakage after this process. But this is the same thing as you saw with Douglas, where he found the ball in the other room. This time is the liquid in the other room, and the other room is outside where you are. So we have learned the transmutation of the matter without containment by use of the fields. The process. Renan, can you tell us what you were feeling before?
So the emotions was once when the field was so large already, or in a sudden, when the water went out, I just feel it's like my hands are vibrating. So even I went away, that my hands was already vibrating, and I send off the energy to the people around, and they feel the energy was so, it's a big ball. So usually I use my hands to process someone. So right now I use my whole palm and let it flow, and it was a large flow of field coming out. So in my own understanding, the field, because I was the one doing the video, and I have also my some of my amino acid on the center core, and from that time there was that huge field that I can feel for a few
Can you
minutes.
stop the video 1 second? You see the field strength, which is from the inside, has started creating water outside. A lot of you were asking, how do we make water? Now you see the process. A lot of you have been after the creation of water. Now you understand the process. It's the glass, this within the transparent box. You see how water is created. This ball has no holes. Even they check afterwards. There is no way any material can come out. The gravitational magnetic field in the center, don't forget, and the gravitational magnetic field outside has a common element, water. So now the field is exactly the same as the stomach of the man, transfers energy, and in accordance to the environment, moisture becomes the water. Please go ahead and show what happens.
Okay.
Just watch. When you
So we increased it. We increased the speed, and it's stabilized. And okay, I'll do a slow mo.
you see the water in the last
This was
second.
the immediate flash. We thought the container was broken, so that was our first expectation, that the container was broken and it has been splashed, because the water was a direct flash, and all of the water of inside was spread out, so went out. So we thought it was broken, but there was only water that came out, and we checked the container. Then the container was dry. We check it out. There was no. We switch it off once it already had once it already spread the water. We switch it off immediately, and from that we open the glass, and the container here is there's it's not wet, so there's no leak from it. It's not wet, but the whole water inside was gone. All the water inside was gone. So I think maybe the water just went out in that stage in just few milliseconds. In a few milliseconds, you can see stabilizing the movement there. In these seconds, from 7 seconds to 8 seconds, it just occurred in that time frame. I'll make it slower. Slower.
The thing is, we put this on a blueprint, and you can try it.
I'll repeat the process. So right now we're repeating it, Mr. Kesh. So not lucky yet in repeating. So we're gonna do the same way. We're getting it now for the next setup. The second setup is let me see. I'll just make a reverse. Okay, there.
Thank you very
So
much.
that's yeah. So we want to repeat the process again. So we're doing another process right now, not yet successful. So I'll do the same expectations and intentions on how to go about it. As we secured every hole or every connection, the spin is not so fast. It's not so fast. I think it's about less than 5,000 or less than 10,000 RPM. So it's not so
It's not
fast.
to do with the speed. It's to do with. I'm going to ask you a question, and I think you answer it the right way it should be. Is it just water off the GANs, or do you have some GANs in the cores as well?
Only on the outside, this is only a water of the GANs and a few CH3 powder or few CH3 GANs. That's why there's a bit on the water side.
What I'm trying to ask is not just the water, you have some GANs inside the system as well.
Yes, in the outer ring. In the outer ring.
And the
There's
inner
only
ring? And in the inner ring?
the inner ring. It's mostly GANs and base water, water that is high in caustic, high in pH. So it is high in pH in the middle. So it's pure. It's mostly GANs. The ratio is, I think, 70% of the container is filled with GANs, and 30% is filled with caustic solution.
And the others? You don't wash your GANs, or is it washed
No,
with
it's already washed, but we mix another caustic solution to raise the pH to about 14 or higher. So from a wash GANs, we mix it again with a caustic solution to raise the pH higher. Then the ball here in the middle sunk, so it doesn't stay in the middle yet. It's at the start. It's on the bottom. Cannot be
So
clear here.
the reason I asked this question is to explain that when you add some GANs materials into the ball, you create like putting sand or putting a spin into the system. It's not just a pure water. You need to create a dynamic motion in the water that it gets disturbed because of its plasmatic gravitational magnetic field. With a center, it becomes like a mixing machine. So the GANs outside become a mixer of the fields in the GANs water or plasma water of the outside ball. And once the field is created, it transfers the energy. The energy internally expands and literally brings the dimension of its field strength beyond the boundary of the ball, and the water literally follows that expansion. So the matter state of the ball is irrelevant. We saw this with Douglas the week before, and we've seen a number of people who are testing this, reporting their pieces of machinery disappearing, or they cannot find out where it is. And all it is, the system creates such a strong gravitational magnetic field that the matter state is irrelevant. This is important in the deep space technology, as I mentioned before. When you travel at high speed and you understood this process, what happens is this. You create a very high, very high field. Let's say the strength of the plasma you create inside. Can you stop the screen share? We can go on this. Can you see my writing? Yes? Okay. So the center inside plasmatic strength is, let's say, about 100. The matter state of the ball strength is 10. So this has nothing. This doesn't look anything around in front of it. So it's so transparent. You need this in deep space. As you're traveling with a high speed, you literally dilute it, but don't touch it. You create a field strong enough. If the environmental density is 10, you create 100 with your system, that if you have meteorite, if you have anything, they become transparent to your system of light. It's the same way as the acidic energy in your stomach goes through the wall of the stomach into your lymph. It's the same process. But this has a lot of application. In a way, you can do the same thing if you find the strength of the emotion of the man, which we've shown is a strength where to be. You can bring and satisfy all the emotions of the man in one go. And you understand the soldiers will not remember why they're carrying the gun. The tools of this delivery of knowledge is slowly becoming apparent by different tests, by different development. We had to take you right across everywhere, then just showing it, then it would have been one man and it would become a magic show. Now you're all magicians. Simple, develop it, understand it, make the gravitational magnetic field of the center in respect to its environment the same as gold, and this time, instead of water, you will deliver gold outside. You've seen how much water you collected. Every ounce of that water inside will come out as gold. But this time, you have to put huge amount of gas water of gold in the center. You will get outside the same. Don't forget the way we built a very non-dynamic version of this. You remember this? The CO2 box, zinc and copper, nano-coated. You created the field of copper, and that field of carbon attracted other carbons from the atmosphere. In interaction with the water, you had the CO2 gas. Now, the process is the same. In this process, now in the dynamic process, you create the fields. If you create another process, here you create the gravitational magnetic field of diamond, gold, whatever here, the fields are created, is your grinding machine. So try it. Douglas, you're making this system. Are you in the background? Can you come online? Can you promote Douglas if he's still awake? Yeah. Douglas? Are you there? Hello? I can hear something in the background, but it's too low. Hello? Douglas? Renan, can you reach him in the background? Hello?
Hi. Okay, he's online, sir.
Yes, but he's not speaking.
He's fixing the mic.
Yeah, we're having trouble here. Douglas, if you can hear us, maybe you can hear us. We're not hearing you at all. So kind of changing your microphone. Maybe plug in and unplug your microphone again, or try a different microphone.
Maybe he's creating too much field he can't cross.
I'm sorry. I noticed my microphone was unmuted. Did you need me, Mr. Kish? I had to run to the bathroom.
Douglas, you're running those balls with the motors, which I explained to you how you can bring them together to produce materials. Would you like to show us how you're doing it and the others learn to be able to make gold?
As far as a drawing, or to actually show the...
Show them. I've done the drawing. You have the motors, how you put your balls on the motors and bring them together.
Yeah, not a problem, Mr. Kish. Let me...
Can we go on your camera?
Yes, we sure can. Hold on just 1 second here. Excuse my appearance. All right, these are the
We
react.
don't see it. You haven't shared camera yet.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, now we got your camera.
These are the reactors. I'm little flower pot bases there. You can see they used to be a fan. I took the fan part off. They have 2 speeds. They're rechargeable. They run off 3 volts, and they come with their own USB cord. You get them for $3 at the dollar store. The balls will fit on here because of the little ledges. They fit on there perfectly. I have a hole ball here, one that has holes in it. You can see that they sit on there, and the bigger container fit on there also. This is actually a core that I'm working on right now. I have several different cores here that are working on. The tube there in front of you is amino acids that I'm collecting. This core here in particular is silver gas and an amino acid to be able to replicate what Renan did, except with the liquid. I'm hoping to be able to produce some silver with this. This is a CH3 and an amino with just 1 milliliter of GANS. The rest of it's a CH3 liquid. These are single cores. Now this is what will be what's called the quad core and triple cores. This one in particular is a quad core. This one is CO2 amino acid of me, which is my blood, and CO2 plasmatic water, and sealed in the first core. The second core, it consists of CH3 with the amino acid of CH3, a mixture of half and acidic base to bring the ball that normally sunk to float, which raised the alkalinity up there by adding the by decreasing the pH, made the ball float. Now this will go, as you can see, this is the third core, and then this is where this one's going next. This is the next assembly, and you can see these cores have holes in them, every one of them. Now I chose to do the multicolored thing just to be different. And that core.
Can you show us what you're supposed to do with putting one of each core on two different units?
And then that'll be the completed model, and the outer core will be consisting of the CH3 also with an amino acid and a measurement of the pH, because the pH has to be correct according to the base element. Now, with that being said, we place the cores in a way where we have them in a star formation, and if we have the cores positioned right, the field interaction occurs right here in the center, right here. And that's where Mr. Kesh is talking about that we can put the gants.
Excuse me, Douglas, could you turn your camera down a little bit so we can see your assembly there? Or
I wish I could. It's it's my actual computer here that I wish it had a little better of a. I do have a remote camera, but I'm not really good at working that thing. I'll try to become a circus artist and juggle. I can do a lot of things. That's one thing I can't do. But anyway, these go into a formation on the base like this, and then one above, and the one above is like this. Now I call this is just my nickname for it. You know, I call it the central core. You know, it's the core that connects with the other three base cores, and this core causes the other three to rotate in the ways that they're supposed to rotate. When you get them near each other, if they're correct, if the pH is correct, when you get the two balls near each other, they start doing opposite reactions amongst themselves anyway, just in the core themselves, in the liquid. It takes playing with the pH a little bit. You know, a meter's a must. So you can manipulate the pH. And once you learn how to take the heavier gants, the lead gants, the composite gants, the really heavy one that you can't make float no matter what. And when you learn how to make that float, that's the key to a lot of this. And then getting it inside the inner core with the CH3 causes some kind of, Mr. Kesh can explain it because I can't. It creates not a funnel vortex. It's not a funnel. It's a straight line that starts, I mean, like a hair of a head, no thinner, no thicker, and then it gets wider. It doesn't vortex in any shape. It's not canochial. It goes straight up and down, and it grows in width or diameter, I guess one would say, to the point where, like I said, it was this about this width here. And a prismatic light shine, and the same thing happened to mine. I told Brennan earlier. I said, my ball did the same exact thing, but mine left and went straight up and hit the ceiling and busted. And we found the inner core later. Chances are, if I would have had mine in a container and it would have had longer to glue, we would have seen that my ball wouldn't have went anywhere, and the fluid would have escaped out of it also along the insides of the container. So it's manipulating these three fields along with the center field up here that creates what we want in the middle, is the way I understand this, and the interaction of these fields.
Can I ask you a question? Thank you very much. But when these fields react, and you create another ball of the material you want, like the water or the gold, you can start collecting gold where you want it.
That's my next. Yes, that's why I didn't have very much. I don't have very much means, but I did have silver because I found an old silver a piece of silverware out in the yard with my metal detector, and it was 925 silver. So I managed to make a Gantz out of it, and I got quite a little bit out of that piece of silverware. So this is solid silver here, and that was my intentions with the with this particular formation and setting up a core with silver inside the center core with my amino to see if I could, in the Gantz of silver that I have over there in my container, to see if I could start materializing the solid formation. And in my mind, I visualize this as particles that become, once we dry, become solid matter form of silver.
Is your unit covered? Is your unit covered behind you, that your power generator is still running, or is it open?
It's covered.
It's
I
covered?
I covered it just in case you wanted to.
Can we see your generator still working?
Yeah, it's always working.
Can we have a look? Energy on demand. Thank you very much. This is getting modified. Still, even this morning, we've been working on it, and Innovation Center here in Italy working on it. And the process will, once we are happy with it, because now Douglas has changed other parameters, which makes it much easier to produce. Then we'll release the blueprint, and all of you can build your energy units up to 3 to 5 kilowatt. How much would it cost if we try to buy a 3 kilowatt, 4 kilowatt power generator now, which lasts a long time? A few thousand.
Yeah.
And then there is no guarantee of anything. This will have more or less no moving part. It's a solid state, GaNs material. There is a further development that the Innovation Center is working on. Then is a solid state plasmatic reactor or magravs system. And this will satisfy the need of any nation. It can be mass produced. And one tip for those who were scared in China that this technology will create more unemployment, this technology will bring more people serving humanity than the computer ever done. Because this is the beginning. Transportation of elements, transportation of information, all that is going to change, and it comes from it. Those who have a fear of losing, there is a lot more to gain job-wise, keeping people busy. None of us in the coming months or weeks will work 50 weeks a year to have 2 weeks off to enjoy the relaxation of the physicality. We work 2 weeks a year and we have 50 weeks to serve humanity. This is where the change will come. And we'll see people around the foundation working that way, and the change is there. Thank you very much, Douglas. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kish, as always, and happy birthday from all of us over here.
I had that this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. So what you see, we are not talking making one nation, one government for the one nation. We have the tools to enforce it. We have the tools to share it, that the sharing of the free energy, free food, free everything forces man to work differently. We are the only organization who has ever had this chance on this planet, and we are enforcing it. My recommendation to those who want to be president, those who call themselves the king, is to make preparation for you to become part of the humanity and equal, as there shall be no king and no president. In the coming time, palaces and presidential palaces and king palaces and the rest will be put into the book of history when all men become equal to sharing of the knowledge and the wealth of the universe. So this is a beginning. That's why it's the title of the teaching today, the beginning. The beginning of the first one nation government. To govern equal, and governing is just to share equally and make sure that everything is available to support humanity on this planet and beyond. So if you see yourself as a man or a woman who can stand the office of giving unconditionally, to be representative of your continent and work with the representative of the languages of your continent, which is more or less every language on the Universal Council, we ask you to apply. The only people we can't apply are those who are consider themselves better than the others, as we don't need kings and the presidents. Your application is rejected. And don't forget, now we're finding the tools to see the strength of the soul of the man, so you cannot lie. If you are true to serving the man from your continent, to be the board of the leadership of this planet, to look after the physical need of this planet, you're welcome to apply. We give you the link on Thursday, and you can apply. We do the usual references that we don't get those who are the stealers of the physicality to enter the realm of the emotion to steal. My recommendation is very easy. There shall be no separate governments around this planet. There shall be no king and no presidents. There shall be no army, only army of peace and completion of the promise that will be one nation, one planet, and one race. Thank you very much for today. I hope I gave my message clearly. The beginning of one nation, one race has started. Does not matter if you're black, white, speak English, French, or Chinese. As of today, we are all equal, and the knowledge shall be spread so rapidly that we force people to give everything to the government they want. You walk in the next few weeks to the office of your government, says you want taxes, how much gold does it need to pay taxes? And the governments will have so much gold that the gold have no value. And my commiseration goes to those who went to steal and destroyed so many souls of man for a few grams of gold compared to what is being delivered. Any questions? Otherwise, we close the session. And then we start the beginning of the process of electing or selecting, not electing, but selecting those souls who select themselves to self-humanity, because this time no one can lie. I will show you how to make soul detectors, that it shows if you are right or if you are wrong. You saw the physical detectors with the GANS boxes a few days ago. Now we'll show you how to make soul detectors, and you will see the color of your soul. We put a bucket of soul GANS and we see if there is any attraction to it. And then we know if you are a liar or you are there lying to serve the man. Thank you very much. If there is any question, otherwise we close the session.
Good morning, Mr. Cash. This is Azar.
Yes, Azar.
I have a question.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
When we talk about principal magnetic field of the Earth that is being transferred to the neighboring planet, is it more than what is expected to keep its balance? So is the Earth dividing to becoming two other planets at this moment?
We don't know. You'll find out.
Okay.
If you make a right strength, you can go to the central planet and see what's going on.
I see. And then the second question is, I wasn't at the, I listened to your talk on a recording, so I couldn't ask question. My question, when Douglas was showing inside the core was basic and outer core was acidic. Then you compare that to the human body and you said the stomach is acidic and the lymph is basic. And if we can make the stomach basic, we can create the same condition. Does that mean that our body is a gas and a plasma and by itself is a spaceship? So how can we get the blueprint of our own body to be a spaceship and don't need all these gadgets?
That's when you find the state of your soul and emotion.
So
Your soul becomes magnetical, and your emotion becomes your gravitational.
So
and the residue of the leftover is the physicality.
So how can I do that?
You got to learn. Find the position of your soul and its strength.
So is this the 6th grade teaching? I'm still in kindergarten.
Pardon?
I said, is this the 6th grade teaching and I'm still in kindergarten?
No, actually, you already graduated, but you don't know what degree you got in. That's the problem.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other question? The beauty of it is nobody's asking how do we make gold now, because they all know how to make it. Thank you very much for today. Let us start building the one nation government and start a new beginning for human race. We'll come to it. We'll release the website or the link that you can select yourself to serve humanity. And then we don't ask you a question, we test your soul. And you know if you fail, or there is another one, stronger strength that it can give more to more humanity, that you step down in respect that there are others who serve better than you, and you respect that it can add from yours to them, that in total we become stronger. Thank you very much for today, and let us build the nation that has got one government and not so much division by imaginary borders and a man of false leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. And this will be the end of the 126th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Tuesday, August 2nd, 2016, which is Mr. Kesh's birthday. So I thought maybe we'd end the workshop with this birthday card, which might take a few minutes to go through, but I'll read the first greeting here, which says,
Can I just add one thing before we close? If you remember, we always did most of the meetings on the 9th of total numbers, which was always the end. Today, the number is 1, and it's the beginning. 2nd of 8, 2016 is 1, and it's the beginning for mankind. Let's see where we go.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. So the card says, Mr. Kesh, thank you for everything you have done. Your teachings, knowledge, sharing, mentorship, kindness, generosity, bravery, fortitude, and most of all, your love has touched all of our lives and has shown us new pathways. We stand united as one nation, one race, and one planet. Happy birthday. With love, everyone from the Kesh Foundation teams. And I'll just scroll through the rest of this. This is an online birthday card, and it goes on quite a long list here, but we'll just show briefly each page as we go through. Definitely a cross-section of people from all over this planet. And some are not sure if they're from this planet or not, perhaps. But at least this planet.
Thank you very much from everyone. I hope it will be a happy time for humanity with this change.
Okay, say it does go on, and I'll just try to scroll through quickly here, but we're about halfway done or something here. Maybe we all should be singing. I won't be leading off that one.
It's a very big family, huh?
It is a big family, yes.
And it's getting bigger and bigger.
Every day. It's amazing how quickly it's spreading. And thanks to everybody for participating in this little card signing exercise. It's kind of impromptu, and many thanks to Flint for organizing this and getting it started. I think it was
You managed to do it very secretly. I never got to know.
yeah, it was that's a bit of a challenge as well, to try to let the groups know that without you getting involved too.
Yeah,
Very much.
you're welcome. There was over 200 people that signed.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
We try to transfer the knowledge in such a rapid way from now on that we do not give a chance for people who try to bring the stop will find a way to, but they become part of the totality. We are not here to change governments. We are here to change humanity, and humanity is one government. Thank you very much for your time in making it, and hopefully we'll come to the point that we can change everything in a very short time. We'll come back on Tuesday, and hopefully by Tuesday, any of you who achieved anything, we give you a ground to show. Thank you very much indeed.
Tuesday or Thursday?
Thursday morning. Thursday morning teachings will carry on unless we have a development which we want to show, we show in the middle. Today was a special day because we changed the course of humanity. Instead of having many governments or first false institutions who were supposed to represent the governments, now we truly established the first human race, one government, one nation. And then we'll see where we go. But don't forget, we are spreading the knowledge very rapidly, and in a coming time, in a very short time, we release the blueprint of the energy that is the main cornerstone of humanity's progress. And then from then on, we go. The team is working very hard in the background. It's been just evolving to a point that the speed of evolution does not give us only one choice: to bring the revolution for humanity. And that's where we are going at. We revolutionize everything possible before Christmas. And all I ask of you is target, understand what I explained today, and start making gold. Gold is the key factor to change the human race, respect for material world. Then you have understand, we create what you need, and the respect for that yellow, whatever it is, goes and becomes a normal thing, and man starts behaving normal too. Thank you very much for today.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. So we'll end the live stream now and bring this workshop to an end.